I was told not to go off script, so that might just be what I do. First and foremost, thank you all for being here. It's a holiday weekend. This is your time that, we're all coming to this realization that this is our shared time. This is the only chance we're going to have. And the power in this city, in this country, in this world looks like what's around you right now. I have a lot of stuff to say, but nothing's going to be more interesting or more important than that. So truly, thank you all for being here. Before I begin, relaying my written remarks once more, I need you all to know that overnight we learned that there would be a sort of major ICE activity in Centennial. They have offices. It's a complicated thing where some cases are heard here, some are heard inside the GEO facility, some are heard inside offices. There's a lot of information we're still trying to put together. There are great groups. Please join one of them, AFSC, my own group, Aurora Unidos. We'll talk about them in a moment. Any number of groups that are here, just come find someone. These events matter. It matters that your neighbors see you here holding up signs that say things that feel pretty obvious, like stop mass deportation, like due process is a right, like fight for those without your privilege. Those things feel obvious to us. And when we talk about the events of the last century, all of them, Holocaust, Rwanda, more than I'm soft wrenching here, a lot of it's just not all in there, but I'm learning quickly. We talk about those events and we ask ourselves, how did we let this happen? If we use a journalism lens, when we talk about a story, we should define 4 things. What happened? And let's be clear about what that is. Who the victims are. Let's be specific. How were they victimized? It's not pretty. Who enacted the atrocity? And the 4th one, and this is by far the most critical, who were the bystanders? Who let this happen? Who knew that there was a concentration camp in their backyard while they continued to lead their lives without any real attention to the gravity of what's happening around them? There's a lot of folks who do this Court Watch program with me. Most of them are in Centennial right now. I am the most inept of our speaker list, but I'll do my best. Let me pause there. Now we'll go back to the prepared stuff. Thank you. Like I said, I'm Joel. I grew up in Aurora after my grandparents came to the Denver area after surviving the Holocaust. And I organized with a group called Aurora Unidos. We're a CSO, community service organization. That's a proper noun. Those groups have existed since the 1940s, organizing for Chicano rights primarily out of Los Angeles, but now nationwide. And one of the most critical lessons that we try to impose on our neighbors gently, sometimes less gently, is, we're finding that a lot of our neighbors are realizing this country has real problems. Some of them didn't think that until Donald Trump won, first time, second time. Hopefully that lesson is disseminated and shared before Donald Trump wins a 3rd term. Yeah, I know. I agree. Obviously, I agree. These fights have been happening on this land for hundreds of years, and our only way through is to fight for true legalization. That means demilitarizing the border and ending the border wall. That means providing a pathway to thriving in America for whoever's here. An example of a legalization for all policy is giving undocumented folks driver's licenses. It might seem really minor. I remember being 16 in Aurora, and the day I got my license, man, I was out of there. I got to do whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. I was home at curfew, everyone was asleep, I could go back and do whatever I wanted, as long as I didn't get caught. But now getting caught means something very different in our world. And further on the legalization for all agenda, we're talking about ending sexual violence toward our immigrants. We know that this country has a history of forced sterilization. We know that this country has a real disdain for whoever we decide is at the bottom of the barrel at a given time. So you're all here today because you're angry. I'm angry too. And we don't know what to do. This is the wilderness, in a literal sense, maybe in a Old Testament sense. I was in this courthouse a few weeks ago. The last time ICE kidnapped somebody, our neighbor Cesar, separating him from his wife and child. The agents, the federal agents, and there were dozens. Arnie's going to speak later on, and he'll tell more about some of this story. They descended on this like flies at a barbecue. It was wild. It was horrifying. It might be the worst day of my life. They threw Cesar's child to the ground. They assaulted one of our observers. And then they went to the public. They went on their Twitter account and said that they had been assaulted without providing any further evidence of that. We'll take that. Thank you. So we walked, after Cesar was taken, we walked mom and kiddo to their car, shaking, terrified. You know, if that's the worst day of my life, it happened to them. I just saw it. But they experienced here in 2025 what families in this land have experienced since colonization, worsening with every generation, and in particular worsening with the expansion of federal government, with technology and surveillance, and the abuse of those powers. This family separation has been happening since long before Donald Trump became president. I'll tell you, as an aside, once we got them safely to their car, I went to my car. I sobbed. I'm pretty stoic. I can hold it together. I sobbed. But I also called my congressman, and his office lied to me about the oversight that's been happening in this building, and another speaker coming up is going to talk more about that. I'm a Democrat. I'm happy to have organized for a number of folks here. My high school history teacher is a state legislator, and I did help. One of my favorite people in town. And we need more. And we need to see the truth when it's available to us and call it out, regardless of who holds that power. I also called our State Attorney General, whose office has yet to get back to me. Well, it's a conversation for another time. I do have good news for you. And this is the only good news left, and it's what I started with. We are the power we have left. We have each other, that's all we have, and then it's all we've ever had. We have to act bravely and with abandon. We have to think about our contribution. If you take no other word from what I say today, please think about the word contribution. How will this history remember you? Because if we get it right, all of us together, generations from now, they won't know our names. They won't know about the guy with the goofy long hair, kind of short, trying for some jokes, but they're not that funny. They'll remember what we did. We're out of time for false prophecy skewed by people who can't see past their own brands or the next election. If you want saints, there's a Catholic church down the street. If you want heroes, I've got some comic books for you. But the rest is a tale as old as time. The people huddled, unwashed, just like it says at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty, feeding and caring for each other, while our rulers set out to try to separate us. I have a lot more here, but I want to leave it at that. I really appreciate you all. We're at the epicenter of a regime. This is hardly an administration, but we have to finish that sentence. We handed Donald Trump unbelievable power. You can decide for yourself when this starts in American history. 1619, 1776, the election of Ronald Reagan, 50 million people losing 20 million homes in 2008 in the housing crisis with no consequences. That level of poverty in this country will lead to choosing a fascist. It always has. 2003, with the passage of the Patriot Act and the creation of ICE. ICE has never gotten smaller year over year. It's only been grown. There have been presidents I've liked since ICE has come about. You can guess which. There have been presidents I disliked. But each one of them grew it. And then we put a cruel, uniquely cruel leader at the controls, and he's doing with it what it was always meant to do. Please talk to your neighbors, hammer your elected officials, but build power locally and come find others who are trying to do the same. Thank you so much for your time. I'm way over.